Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy, here to bring you your December 2019 general reading. We are looking at the first half of December from the 1st to the 15th, and this reading is for the air sign of Gemini, our lovely twins. I am back from my travels back in my home base in the United States, at least for a little while. I do like to travel a lot. Thank you for those of you who come along with me because I do work everywhere I go. Thanks for all the likes, shares, and subscribes, and support, feedback, and comments. So this is for Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising, if your Venus is in Gemini or if you're a cross-watching for Gemini. But remember, as many of you already know, there's many of you watching general readings, and they always resonate a little differently for everyone because of that. So watch your other sign videos if you know them, your rising sign, moon sign, Venus sign, etc. Can provide additional clarification. And if any of you are interested in reaching out for a personal one-on-one reading, just click on the description link below for more info and contact details. You can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I offer a wide variety of readings in all the main areas of life, of different lengths and times, ranging from 15 minutes up to an hour and a half. And as this is a big gift-giving time of the year, you may want to consider giving the gift of a personal reading to friends, family, and loved ones. There's nothing more personal than a personal reading because it's specifically oriented towards the recipient. And also popular at this time of the year are the 6 and 12-month overviews I do, which is a 24-card spread that I use. It takes a look at what's coming in your life over the next 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look. And while you can, and people do order them at all different times of the year, I always get a lot of requests for them at this time of the year as we are transitioning out of one year and looking ahead at a new year. So something else to keep in mind. All right, let's move right into this reading. Our twins, Gemini, for the first half of December, 1st through the 15th. All right, Gemini, we begin with the Devil, followed by the Two of Pentacles. We have the Fool, followed by the King of Swords. From the bottom of the deck, overall energy and focus for the first half of December is the Chariot. 3 major arcana cards out of 5. Just like Aquarius, a pretty significant and profound time for you the first half of December, although time is somewhat fluid and never more so than in a general reading because there's so many of you watching, so this may already be ongoing. Gemini, it looks like you're kind of all over the place, maybe trying to make up your mind about something, you may be at a crossroads or trying to decide about something, but I feel like you've gotten yourself almost, it could be you or somebody close to you, obsessively focused on something to the exclusion almost of other things going on in your life. I mean, we have the Devil and the Fool right next to each other. I love the Fool. He's all about taking a risk, stepping off the beaten path, blazing trails, walking in faith, stepping into the unknown, starting off on a brand new journey. But it's not the most responsible, let's plan ahead kind of energy. And the Devil is about profound instability and imbalance. It can sometimes show up for, you know, addictions, drug addictions, alcohol, sex, work, gambling, shopping, toxic negative relationships, mental health issues. I mean, the Devil can represent vices, temptations, things we're enslaved to, meaning that we pour obsessively focused energy into one thing to the detriment and exclusion of other things or people or situations in our life, which is the fundamental nature of instability. There's too much weight in one area, not enough spread out in other areas. And the Fool also is, you know, he's not much of a planner, and I don't really like the two of these side by side for you because it represents somebody who is perhaps obsessively focused or addicted to something, that's where all of their energy is going into, and they can't see anything else. And the other interesting thing here, this is an interesting reading, the other interesting thing, Gemini, is that your overall focus and energy for the first half of December is the Chariot, which is a card also, it can be a card about obsessive energy. It's about winning at all costs, staying focused on your goals, winning because you refuse to give up, determination, perseverance, using everything that you can to move forward and achieve and accomplish your goals successfully. Generally a pretty positive card. However, with the Devil and the Fool, I don't really like it because it looks like someone is obsessively focused in a particular thing, area, relationship, substance, something like that, project even, or work could be for some of you. And I think if you don't step back from that, it's going to end up costing you quite a bit. As any obsession will, whether it's work obsession or drug or alcohol obsession or relationship obsession, you know, it ends up kind of costing us even if it doesn't happen for a while. So I'm feeling quite a lot of cautionary energy here. Don't shoot the messenger. That's what I'm getting. So underneath the Devil and the Fool, we have the Two of Pentacles and the King of Swords, which is a completely different type of energy. The Two of Pentacles is about making decisions, juggling, trying to make up your mind, trying to make a choice perhaps. Maybe you're juggling too much. I mean, the Two of Pentacles shows a man who's successfully keeping both of these pentacles in the air, but he's also missing a great deal that's going on behind him. Ships coming in, dolphins, which are the harbinger and messengers of good news. There's a rainbow in the background, but his back is turned to him because he's completely focused on what the pentacles represent. And pentacles is governed by the element of earth. And in the suit of pentacles in the tarot, pentacles really represents the things in our life that make us feel stable, secure, safe. So often pentacles represents the earthly things in our life, like money, finances, property, real estate, assets, job, etc. Or long-term stable relationship, marriages, friendships, etc. Or the acquisition of those things, the effort we put into acquiring things. So pentacles is about making sure that the physical structure, our surroundings, and our general life feels stable and solid and secure. So this might, and the Chariot is often a card associated with career, finances, projects, although not always. This may resonate in another area of life for you. It's a general reading. But if you're looking at it from a career, work, project, it's like it could be the obsession with job, the obsession with money, the obsession with, you know, you're so focused on whatever this is that you're pouring all of your energy into that you're actually missing everything that's going on around you. And while you don't realize it now because you're caught up in this obsession or addiction, it will catch up to you later. Perhaps you're trying to make a decision or a choice about something, but you can't quite do it. And then we have the King of Swords here, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra energy, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Kings and Queens represent individuals who have mastered their suit, meaning they've come to a point of responsibility, maturity, experience, self-control, and balance with the character traits inherent to their suit. This is the King of Swords. Swords is governed by the element of air. So the suit of swords in the tarot represents everything that goes on in our heads. It's mental, cerebral, intellectual energy. It's interesting because it's governed by the element of air, and it's about things that go on in our head. And I often think swords, air, airhead. Nobody's an airhead here. Well, maybe I am sometimes. So the King of Swords, so swords is about belief systems, ideologies, how we look at things, our perceptions and perspectives, higher education, learning, truth, enlightenment, honor and integrity, you know, everything that goes on in our heads. Cerebral, mental, psychological energy. And the King of Swords is at the top of this game because it's his suit. He's intelligent, if not actually well educated, probably cultured, well read, very smart, intelligent person. He is not one to let his emotions dictate his actions. It's not that he doesn't feel the emotions, but he doesn't allow them to make the decisions for him. He looks at the facts, what's right, what's wrong, what can I learn here. He carefully considers, contemplates. You can see him sitting on his throne with his sword of truth, enlightenment, justice, kind of sitting there, listening, weighing things, contemplating things, because he understands as a king that the decisions he makes affects everyone in his kingdom, so he wants to make sure to make this decision as best as possible and not be driven by his own emotions, which is completely different than this devil fool energy. And it's sitting right next to the Two of Pentacles. So what to do about this? This could be you, Gemini. It could be someone close to you. It could be you trying to make the decision what to do about something or someone or a situation in your life that has gotten out of control. Because that's what I'm feeling primarily by the upper cards here, the Devil, the Fool, maybe even the Chariot. Something has gotten out of control, whether it's in your life, somebody close to your's life, which means actually it's still part of your life. You're trying to figure out what the best thing is to do. Perhaps you've been completely obsessed and focused on some kind of work or work project or something of that sort. So I'm going to pull some advice cards. You know, I'm always interested and curious about feedback about any readings I do, particularly general readings, because I don't know who I'm reading for, whoever needs to hear it. But some, like this one, I am particularly curious about what this is. Those of you for whom this might resonate, you can always write in on the messages under this video, or you can email me personally. All right, advice and guidance for Gemini on how to navigate through this for the first half of December. We had one jumper, and I'm going to pull another one. 3. Okay. I'm going to keep them. So advice from Spirit on how to best navigate through this. We have, this is pretty clear. So the first one that came out was a jumper, the Page of Wands in the reverse. In the upright position, pages are always known for being a bit on the irresponsible and quick side, sort of like the Fool, because they're just starting out. They have that young, youthful, or immature energy, not a lot of life experience. Wands is fire energy, so in the upright, this young person or person feeling youthful is charging ahead quite fast and passionate and not really paying too much attention to what's in front of them or any planning. In the reverse, it's about not doing that, not exercising that, not allowing the compulsion or the desire to kind of drive you forward. Because pages represent children or the energy that children feel, which is to act on their impulses. And the Page of Wands does that more than any of the other pages because he's governed by the element of fire. So you're being advised by Spirit not to act on your impulses. The Four of Swords, retreat. Take a temporary step back and reprieve from whatever the situation is, which is what this knight has done. You can see that there's 3 swords pointing down to him, representing the source of the conflict or challenge or battle. His own sword is lying close by his hand should he need it. He's still girded for battle, though he's taken off his hand gauntlets and his helmet. So the implication is that while this is something he will probably have to return to for the time being because he's tired, worn out, exhausted, and he needs to get a clear, fresh perspective because he's too enmeshed in this. He needs to take a time out, rest, recuperate, get a bit of a different perspective about this situation. And then the last one was the Eight of Pentacles. This is the work card. I mean, perhaps this is a work situation for some of you. There's some kind of obsession, or maybe you're working overtime or obsessive about some kind of project or a business or something of some kind. You know, the acquisition of money or, you know, material success to the detriment of things around you, or working to support a habit or an addiction of yours or someone else's. Could be that as well. You're being asked to withdraw from the time being. Just take a temporary reprieve or a step back from this. Because if you don't, I mean, the devil, nature in its very essence, as driven by God's Spirit, your angels and guides, when there is imbalance, it seeks to correct itself at some point, which is kind of my fundamental belief about what some people call karma. It's just energy. Things were created and meant to be in harmony, order, and balance. And when things get out of that, like with addictions, they will eventually catch up to somebody because nature in and of itself, us, everything around us, has to do what it can to reassert balance, which is why the energy of the devil always ends up kicking us in the proverbial tushy somewhere down the road, because there has to be some kind of balance restored, and there will be increasing conflict until that happens. So cautionary advice, whether this is you or someone close to you, you're being asked to take a step back from this for the time being. Short reprieve, at least for the first half of December. So Gemini, that represents your thoroughly fascinating reading. I hope that you, perhaps if you didn't enjoy it, at least you found it helpful or useful or enlightening in some way. If any of you are interested in a personal reading, again, you can click on the description link below, particularly if any of these videos resonate for you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something. Click on the description link below for more info and details. You can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. It is the sum total of what I do. So I'm pretty diligent at working with both your schedule and mine to get readings out in as timely a fashion as possible. So email me if you're interested. I'd be happy to set something up with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the December mid-month readings. Until then, I wish you much joy, blessings, and strength and peace. And I hope everyone has an absolutely marvelous holiday season. Take care. Bye-bye.